Hey everyone, this is StarcraftDad, and tonight I'll be casting a 1 versus 1 between our favorite Terran CuePhoenix over here on the left in the red, and SirCharles playing Terran in the blue on the right. Both players are building SCVs and mining and getting settled into the game. Good luck, have fun from each one. CuePhoenix is coming from Silver League, rank 38 in his division. Currently in a 2-game losing streak. 7 wins, 4 losses. 3 of those losses were Terran versus Terran. TvT, which is the game that we're playing tonight. SirCharles, rank 1 in his division, but in Bronze League, coming from a 1-game losing streak, so both players hoping to break their streaks this game, and guaranteed one of them will. CuePhoenix starting off with a supply depot, and SirCharles going over for a supply depot on the right here. Looks like CuePhoenix is a little bit ahead on building his supply depot. It's already done. Waiting around to build a barracks. CuePhoenix has a history of building a wall here with 2 barracks and then going for an expand. He's been experimenting with some barrack factory Stargate play. That's the 1-1-1 build. SirCharles coming to the north position, checking this place out. Just sitting there, no one's there. CuePhoenix coming over to the Xel'Naga Tower to see what's up. Walking around the map looking for trouble. SirCharles already has a refinery built. Going for some early gas. Perhaps he'll be going for some early tech. Maybe a factory and some siege tanks. CuePhoenix also slightly ahead, building a refinery. Not ahead, he's behind. And going for a supply depot. Gonna wall off here with 2 supply depots and a barracks. Not super strong, but not too worried about early pressure from Terran at this point. And his SCV hanging out in the southern position. SCV is doing a high five as they walk by. SirCharles going for a double barracks at the front, putting down a tech lab. CuePhoenix no tech lab, 1 Marine sitting outside the base. SCV doing nothing. Let's see what he builds. Looks like he's hanging around waiting for something, but he's sending his scouting SCV to go look for SirCharles. Going up to the north position, SirCharles, his SCV down here, making his way over to the Xel'Naga Tower, where he's gonna, looks like he's gonna hang out for a while. CuePhoenix slightly ahead on the food count, 20 to 19. SirCharles is supply blocked. Building a Reaper for some early pressure. And upgrading to an orbital command. CuePhoenix also building his orbital, a little bit behind, but slightly ahead on the supply count. A little bit behind in workers, a little bit ahead in army. SirCharles building a second tech lab. That's 2 tech labs. Looking forward to some Reaper play. 2 Reapers out. CuePhoenix, his SCV coming into the base. Let's see what he can see. Looks like he sees a depot, a refinery, suggesting some tech, and he's just hanging out here. Looks like SirCharles is not making any move to take care of that SCV, but instead his Reaper is making his way across the map. Gonna do some harass, and his second Reaper here as well. Is CuePhoenix gonna be ready for this harass? He's got some Marines standing here up at the front, but there's nobody in the back. Looks like he's going for a starport and a factory. 1-1-1 action here tonight, and SirCharles going for an early command center. Let's see if CuePhoenix can scout this out. His little SCV is under attack by a Marine. A bunker back here, that's kind of a surprise, but SirCharles perhaps being attacked by Reapers before and having a bunker to protect him there, but looking to do some Reaper harass himself in the left here. CuePhoenix with a bunch of Marines. Uh-oh, looks like these Marines are going to leave, and leave this base undefended for these Reapers. SirCharles coming in with those Reapers. Let's see what they can do here. SirCharles is macroing up, building a couple of Marauders. CuePhoenix not doing much, waiting for something. Here come the Reapers coming into the base. Let's see how many kills they get. They're coming in. They kill 1 SCV. Looks like 2. Looks like 3. What's CuePhoenix doing? He's not doing anything. Oh my goodness, his Marines are moving across the field instead. CuePhoenix pushing back these Reapers with the SCVs. That's kind of a surprise maneuver. Continuing to mine. Bringing a Marine over. That'll be short work by these Reapers. I'll take him out. No problem. The SCV's coming in for the attack, trying to push back these Reapers. A medevac going over here for the attack, but CuePhoenix trying to micro these Reavers. These, it's not Reapers, it's not StarCraft 1. Reapers taking one out with these SCVs. They're pretty aggressive. And not doing much over here. Looks like he's kind of beside himself trying to micro these SCVs around, chasing this Reaper back, bringing over a tank, and that should be the end of him. Look at him fly. Let's check the damage here. Wow! Those Reapers took out 9 workers. And CuePhoenix is behind in the supply count severely. Let's check out the income tab here. SirCharles flies ahead on the income. SirCharles getting gas, CuePhoenix getting nothing. He didn't put any SCVs back on gas here. And SirCharles is flying ahead on the mineral count, but CuePhoenix's Marines look like they're pushing back this command center. And a bunch of Marauders and Marines coming here to clean this up. Medevac doing some healing. Marines pack up in the medevac. Looks like they're coming back into the main. Let's see what damage he can do. This command center, somewhat damaged there. Looks like a drop in the main. SCV's running away. And here come the cleanup force. Let's see if these Marines get saved in. There they go. Can they make it out? They're gonna make it out. Alright. Everybody back to work now. Come on. Okay, it looks like SirCharles is researching concussive shell, and stim is on its way. CuePhoenix building a couple of Hellions over here. As you can see, CuePhoenix is really low on gas. He's got way too many minerals. What's he gonna do with that? Looks like he's not doing much. He's playing with this tank, I guess. Okay, here he goes, putting some SCVs back on the gas. And the starport is building a Viking. Not sure that's going to do much good. Haven't seen any airplay coming from SirCharles. In fact, he doesn't even have a starport. Viking, an interesting choice. Got 2 Marines over here in the bunker. Expecting a counterattack with Reapers, perhaps. Looks like no research there. Just waiting on stim. And building a couple of Marauders. Building a 3rd barracks. Oh, here come the Marines. This drop that never got cleaned up. They're going to be able to take anything out. Doesn't look like they got too much there. Back in the medevac to leave. Although really there was nobody coming for them. They probably could have stayed just fine. And here we go. The expansion for SirCharles getting started. Although he's not building any SCVs or transferring them. There he goes. He's building 1 there. That's not 2 on the ball. But CuePhoenix trying to catch up on the supply. Trying to build things. But he's so low on gas because he has not had much gas being mined. But if you look here, his gas is way ahead of SirCharles. Not sure what happened there. Perhaps SirCharles fell as well to the problem of not putting harvesters back on gas. Here we go. So SirCharles is going to have an economic advantage with this expansion unless CuePhoenix decides to come in and do some kind of attack to even things up. SirCharles is going to be ahead and just pull further and further ahead with this economy. Looks like this medevac, ooh, damaged. It's going to go back home to get repaired. A couple of missile turrets came up to ward it off. So that'll be the end of drop. And we're supply blocked by SirCharles, breaking that supply block with a supply depot enhancement sent from that orbital command and building a 4th barracks. 4 barracks. Checking out the unit counting station. CuePhoenix with 2 tanks and 10 Marines. That lone Viking and a couple of medevacs. Here the medevac goes in here to get repaired and heal up some Marines. A bunch of Hellions and another tank coming out. It looks like CuePhoenix has a pretty good force here and starting to catch up on that supply. I'm not sure why he's building these Vikings. I think he had some previous encounters with very heavy Viking, but if you look down here, there's just a bunch of Marauders. So those tanks should make pretty good work of them. SirCharles probably pulling ahead on the income tab, and we can see there, wow, look at that. Over double the mineral income by SirCharles, and they're about on par for gas. but he should pull ahead with these 2 refineries. So CuePhoenix really needs to build an expansion or push out and put some kind of pressure, because as the game wears on, his advantage in army is going to dwindle as SirCharles, his macro increases. And you can see SirCharles has a lot of money here. He could really be building more, and he's only got 1 out of 4 barracks running and a factory ready to go with siege tanks, but nothing going on there. Oh, there go the barracks. They're turning on here, and CuePhoenix just building stuff. Looks like he's getting stim ready and a vehicle attack upgrade and an armor upgrade for his Marines. But you know, besides that, there's just really not much going on over here in the CuePhoenix camp, and he's falling behind pretty dramatically in the resources. SirCharles has a, maybe not saturated, but a pretty good setup at his expansion, and built a starport with a reactor. He's been building a lot of things. You can see his minerals is pretty low, but he's got a lot of gas banked, and his supply is much higher than CuePhoenix. We're looking at 30 more higher, and SirCharles building, it looks like, a 3rd expansion in the north position. And here goes CuePhoenix for a move out. Let's see if this is going to be enough to kind of even the score. Bringing a couple of SCVs along. Looks like he just kind of grabbed everything and did an attack move. Got a bunch of Marines and mostly Marauders here. That'll work pretty well, although they need to be backed up by medevacs to heal them. A couple of SCVs coming down. So SirCharles has a lot of SCVs. Abandoning these minerals here, that's kind of an interesting choice. But CuePhoenix set up here at the Zelnaga Tower, just kind of hanging out. This command center almost built, chugging its way through. Looks like CuePhoenix was waiting for a medevac. That's kind of an interesting choice. Building the siege tank, a Marine, a Marauder, just a real skeleton force back here. Guess he's not expecting too much pressure. Both players not supply blocked, but you can see here CuePhoenix is building a lot of stuff, including a Banshee that should be coming over here shortly, and there she comes. Oh, his force is moving out, coming up to this north here, up near these vents here that provide some cover, but that's not going to matter. These 2 opponents see each other, these 2 armies, 2 medevacs up here, and here comes the battle. Let's see if the siege tanks siege up, and they do. This is going to be a problem for all of these Marauders who take extra damage from these siege tanks. Oh, here they come in for the stim. Let's pop on the hit point tab and see how they're doing. All these Marauders are in the orange, and CuePhoenix looks like he's thinning these guys out. A real surprise here, and look at that supply count matching. SirCharles has been pushed back down in supply, and CuePhoenix has a little stronghold here with these 3 tanks, and SirCharles really needs to stay away from these tanks. These Marauders need to get healed up. These medevacs are kind of low on energy. He needs to wait here. Has upgraded his expansion to a planetary fortress to try to hold these attacking forces out. 3 medevacs, 2 Vikings. Looks like CuePhoenix has air superiority. Got a planetary fortress in the north position for SirCharles, but I think he may have lost his advantage here. CuePhoenix now ahead on supply in a surprise move. SirCharles building a bunch of Marines. But at this point, CuePhoenix is setting up base here, right outside of the expansion. These tanks have a pretty long range. SirCharles trying to skirt around the top here. CuePhoenix bringing in a Hellion to do some harassing, get these guys moving around. But they've got a little bit of space here on that entry ramp into the main where they can move around. But CuePhoenix continuing to just send units directly over. Another Banshee. And looks like he's doing some slight movement of some tanks to press his advantage. He really believes he's behind, and he is correct. He is behind. Tanks sieging up, trying to get a little bit closer to this base. Oh, and these guys trying to move in, but that's not a good idea with all of these tanks. CuePhoenix trying to use these units and his air units to maximize the range of his tanks. But yeah, with those 2 Vikings, and now a Banshee over here, and some missile turrets of all things, SirCharles really needs to stay away. His group is small, Very few ground units, just a couple of medevacs. He needs to really back off here. And you can see SirCharles, both players are not macroing to their maximum capability. We have an empty production tab and lots of minerals, lots of gas. That a lot of those encounters looks like they were slowing things down. SirCharles is racing ahead here with a bunch of SCVs. He's got 3 bases running now. His income must be insane, and it is over double CuePhoenix's income, and his gas is slightly behind. Here comes CuePhoenix with a forward tank here in range of this planetary. He can just sit there and shell that planetary till it goes away, unless SirCharles decides to repair it. Planetary's got some pretty good armor there, but CuePhoenix still slightly ahead on the supply. Let's check the army count here. If you look here, whoa, CuePhoenix almost double the army supply of SirCharles. SirCharles double the worker supply. But those workers aren't going to matter very much unless SirCharles can make an army to beat back this force. He's got a small force here trying to stim and come in. That's a very bad idea to stim into tanks. And it looks like this planetary is gone. Not sure why SirCharles didn't try to repair that, but you know, I guess he's got SCVs to spare. SCVs on fire from those siege tanks. SCVs coming back into the main. I guess he's got some minerals back here to mine, and another starport. Could be building some things, or a Banshee or something, but not building very much. You look here over at the production tab, and both players are not macroing very well. CuePhoenix looks like he's trying to advance a little bit further, trying to slowly snail his siege tanks across the map. Doesn't even know, I think, about this expansion up here, but not sure that it matters if he keeps putting pressure over here on SirCharles' main. With this expansion gone, SirCharles, he's got tons of money though. He really should be pumping out stuff out of every single one of these barracks. He's got a couple of siege tanks up, which is good, making use of this factory. Not doing any upgrades out of his engineering bay at all. And CuePhoenix, I believe his upgrades finished a while ago, but SirCharles doing a drop here with some Marines trying to take out CuePhoenix's one expansion. CuePhoenix with no army in his base. He's got lots of production, but no army. Lifting up that command center. Is it gonna survive? It's getting pretty close. It's on fire. And SirCharles trying to come up to the ramp. He could elevate her up with this medevac, but CuePhoenix makes some guys, and he comes up to the main in a counterattack, trying to draw SirCharles' attention away. SirCharles paying attention over here to his attack. CuePhoenix paying attention over here to his attack. SirCharles with a lot of money, not making anything. Looks like he's making a Banshee over here and trying to get Cloak out, but that's not going to come out fast enough for this. And SirCharles, GG's, continues his losing streak, and CuePhoenix ends his losing streak with a win. TvT breaking also his TvT losing streak. So that's a good game, and my latest cast for my StarCraft blog, StarcraftDad at blogspot.blogspot.com, and we'll see you guys next time.